Hey guys, what's up? Time for another video. Remember, if you like the videos, like, sub, silly, comment, share, support the channel if you want. I appreciate it. Thanks. I like kind of topics and cool, interesting quotes. Like I use that one quote sometimes of talent hits the target that no one else could hit, but genius hits the target that no one else could see, right? Like that's an awesome quote, right? And I heard a interesting quote while I was listening to Mike Matthews today while working out. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about that, believed versus checked facts. And I also want to talk about, because I made that recent video talking about lab monsters and intelligence stuff. I want to say that there's nothing wrong with being a quotation marks lab monster versus a quotation marks competitive player. So I want to talk about those two things, right? So believed versus checked facts, right? Because how many things you know because of, say, firsthand experience? Or how many things do you know just because it's something you've heard from somebody else? You know what I mean? There's only so much time in a day, so inevitably we can only have so much time to actually firsthand experience something, right? There's the quote of the art of life consists of making correct decisions based on insufficient evidence, right? That's a pretty cool quote. I like that he did that quote. That was a good quote. Thanks for reminding me of that. So because of something like this, something like trust comes into play. Because we can't always experience something firsthand, we have to trust what we're hearing, right? But how can you even trust so many people that have been caught lying to you about other people in the video game community, cough me, or about the video game itself, right? And is there even any reason or precedence to even believe so many of these people, right? So many of these tech lords. I've often said that the only reason so many people even believe the shit that people say about me in the community is because there's so many people that are in on the fake story. It's a believed fact rather than a checked fact, right? Because if you actually look it up, well, there's no proof of anything these guys ever say. All the proof is what I say. Is that kind of strange to you? You know what I mean? I just showed a guy that goes around lying about me got caught faking dying for clout. It's bad enough that you got to pretend to have a fake, serious, life or death illness, but then you actually get caught using it for attention and trying to promote yourself, and I'm the bad guy of the community? These dudes tell you not to watch me? Like, think about that for a second, right? That's a believed fact rather than a checked fact, what these guys talk about, right? Because when you check anything these guys say, it doesn't matter if it's about me, it's about the video game. These guys, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about if you actually look it up, right? Again, inevitably, we can only have so much firsthand experience in life because there's only so much time in a day, so we have to put trust into another person. But is there a reason for you to even trust some of these people? Because it doesn't seem to be, right? So if you can accept the fact that you don't know everything that you think you know, which is a hard pill to swallow for some, well, that actually kind of gives you the chance to learn, right? And I've used the example of Dragon Ball Fighters so many times. Like, how was I able to accurately predict almost the entire game without ever playing it a single time? How have I done more in this game than any other single person has ever done for a fighting game in history? How have I've been able to do more stuff for fighting games than anyone else ever has, right? If we're looking at Dragon Ball Fighters for an example, right? The reason I was able to do it, right, is because I watched people play, right? Despite the entire community wanting to believe that I was wrong, despite what I've done for all these other games years beforehand, right? Despite them wanting to tell you that I was wrong, right? They wanted to have these believed facts versus checked facts, right? Like, oh, you know what I mean? These guys are the ones that are winning, so we're going to believe that they know what they're talking about. But when a game is brand new, because I accepted that the game is brand new, that there is no reason for there actually to be all this believed factual evidence when the game is brand new. It's a new broadened horizon field, whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? Any information is valuable. There is no quotation real master of the game yet, right? So instead of watching the quotation good people play, I watched the quotation scrubs play. I watched the people mashing on buttons because then I could actually see the properties of the moves in different situations. So then I knew how to accurately judge all the pieces of the puzzle to see the bigger picture. I knew that I had to learn. I knew the difference between a believed fact rather than a checked fact, especially when it is a brand new fucking game. You know what I mean? I knew that I had to learn. I knew that listening to especially these quotation marks good people who don't have a precedent of being that smart anyway, believe in a community who thinks that I fake dying in a hospital and have never done anything in a fucking video game either, that wasn't going to get me anywhere, right? I knew better. I checked the facts of the game and what they were saying rather than what they wanted me to believe. And lastly, when I talk about lab monsters versus competitive players, right? Because I've said before, I don't necessarily consider myself a competitive player anymore. I have won many tournaments and all that kind of stuff. And I recently just showed I was able to destroy people for months straight without playing video games. Playing those games, whatever, years, right? 4 months straight. So bad they had to make up a faked thing to get me banned from Fightcade because I beat them so bad, right? But generally, I don't consider myself so much a competitive player anymore. I try to throw away that competitive ego, right? I guess, the word lab monster sounds weird, but you know what I mean? I enjoy the idea of discovering things, right? Probably like a lot, maybe human nature. People like to discover things. Maybe that's why so many people in the community hate me, because I'm basically like the spoiler for every game. I've spoiled the entire game for people. You know what I mean? Just like that. You think you found something, you're years late. And how most of the time, if you look at it, these people, they said the thing I found was fake. And then once they can do it, it's real, right? But I just want to say, I don't think there's anything wrong with being a quotation marks lab monster rather than a competitive player, because most people are not competitive when it gets down to it. When you get down to what I've talked about so many times before, most people will never be good at a video game like that to be truly competitive, right? So I think human nature, wanting to discover things, I think it's normal to want to be a lab monster and find stuff, right? Now, of course, again, fuck Clayton. Clayton finds everything before us, right? But I'm just trying to get at, I don't think there's anything wrong with being a lab monster rather than a competitive player. I don't think it's necessarily an insult. The only thing that is insulting I think it's insulting when people say that I am a lab monster and I can't play, because Jesus Christ, I'm pretty sure you can see that I've won many tournaments while sick. Pretty sure you can just see I just was destroying people in video games again. You know what I mean? So in that sense, that is insulting, but I don't think, I guess it's a lie actually, obviously, but I don't think just the idea of wanting to be a lab monster I don't think that is insulting. I don't think it's bad to want to enjoy a game, to want to do cool things in a game, because most of the people that say they are competitive are not actually competitive, right? So in that context, I don't think that's an insult, and I don't think people should feel bad about being called a lab monster when a lot of people that say they are competitive are not really competitive either. So, but that's where we get into thin intelligence. And I think it's weird, though, when some people, they actually want to say they're a lab monster when they have that thin intelligence. They can't even see the bigger picture, right? How can you call yourself a tech god or a lab monster when you don't even properly test things? You know what I mean? I made that video recently about the intelligence and everything. You talk about people that have been caught lying so many times. They don't even test the game. And these are the smart people at the game, supposedly. Believed facts versus checked facts. Have you checked this? Because you can check it out very easily. The funny thing is, I woke up today again to a quote of, they were actually trying to defend the guy who is trying to promote the idea to not watch my videos because they're fake and not real. Changes their story to, oh, well, I actually don't watch Clayton's videos, so what you're saying he said in the video is fake, I'm sure. What? Are you sure? There's like fucking 20 videos probably. It's not fake. Are you kidding me? Like that's again an example of believed versus fact checked, right? Checked facts. So, I don't know. That's what I was getting into today. Remember, if you like the videos, like, sub, silly, comment, share, support the channel if you can. Links below. I appreciate it. Thanks. The end.